What's happening, brother?
How's it going, man? Can you hear me all right?
Loud and clear.
Sweet. Thank you so much for your time, man.
You are welcome.
Much appreciated. All right, so we just get into it, right? I don't want to take up more than 15 minutes.
Sure.
So John, thanks again for being here today with me today. A big percentage of your revenue comes from sponsorships. Would you recommend people seek sponsorships for their show right away? Or where would you say people should start when trying to monetize their knowledge?
Well, Cam, first and foremost, thanks for having me on, brother. Much appreciated. I'm ready to bring the fire. I'm ready to bring the heat to today's little chat that we have going on here. And my answer to your direct question is one big fat no. I think it's a massive mistake when you first start your show to go after sponsors, to try to have people pay you for your non-existent audience. There's so much better ways for you to spend your time, energy, effort, and bandwidth. So instead of trying to chase down sponsors, again, for a CPM, which is cost per 1,000 listens, when you probably don't even have 1,000 listeners. So you're probably not going to make any money, even if you had, a sponsor lock you in, or the CPA method, which is the cost per acquisition, meaning every time you send them a paying client, they give you X number of dollars back. You don't have an engaged audience yet. So no, don't go that route at the beginning. First, build an engaged audience. Now, what can you do while you're building an engaged audience? Well, you can do this. You can say, hey, listeners, I need your feedback. Tell me your one biggest problem. Just tell me what it is. And keep asking that question, and then record the results. Put it down in a list. Start to see what consistent themes come up. And then guess what? You can create the solution to your listeners' biggest problems and offer it to them in the form of a product or a service or a community, whatever that might be. That's the way to monetize your message. That's the way to do it and actually generate decent revenue at an early base. Years down the line, when you get tens of thousands of listens and all these massive, then go the sponsorship route, but not till then.
I love it. And on that note, you say use your product or service to build an engaged audience. That's something that you do really well, and you're a content creation machine, not only with your podcast courses or your podcast in general, but your journals, your consistent messaging you're putting out on social media. It seems like you're always doing something. How do you do it? How do you maintain your energy and consistently put out all that content?
Systems. I am a batching machine. Like, I batch like a mofo. Today, you are the 7th of 25 interviews I'm doing today. Do you know how many times I do that per month? Wow. One day per month, I set aside to do all these interviews on all these other podcasts. And guess what? Today is my Super Bowl for being a guest on other people's shows. So I bring the heat, I bring the energy, I make it happen, because this is the one day a month that I do just that. Now, if I was to have to do that 7 or 10 or 20 or 30 days per month, I wouldn't feel like doing it all of those days. I'm a human being. I have ups, I have downs. I have times I feel like being an introvert, times I feel like being an extrovert. But I know that this day is the one day a month that I got to get up, drink my coffee, bring my energy, have wonderful conversations with people like yourself, and just bring the heat. So you have to batch. Create systems, have automations in place that lead to your success. That's how you win.
Love it, man. Love it. So one thing I really admire about you is on your website, you put all of your metrics, your statistics from every year since you started EO Fire, all the ways that you've generated revenue, everything that you have in place that is consistently growing your business, which I love. And it's something that we implement into our business as well, is that authenticity of something that we actually took from you, because it's amazing. And I was actually looking at it recently, and your highest grossing year in your business was in 2015. What are the big differences from then to now? And how do you maintain consistent cash flow with the drastic changes in revenue?
So, the reality is this. Listen, sometimes things are going to be hot and then they're going to kind of fade out. Back in 2015, man, like, you just whispered that you were going to hold a live webinar, and like hundreds and hundreds of people showed up. And on that live webinar, if you gave value, then offered a very valuable product or service at the end, people were buying it on high quantities. We would do live webinars every single week in 2015. We put in the work for Podcasters Paradise, and we would make $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on every single webinar. That was with no ads. That was just organic, letting our audience know just getting people there, just having great, valuable training via these webinars. And we were killing it because of that. But then guess what? Just like everything in life, marketers ruin everything. People see what's working with other people. They copy it, they mimic it, which is great because that's what you got to do. I've done it plenty myself. And then everybody's doing it. And now it's not special anymore. And so you have to keep iterating, keep evolving, keep trying new things. That's why I launched a journal in 2016, another journal in 2017, another journal in 2018. That's why I've launched different courses and different models and done all these different things over the years, because I want to keep evolving. Because if you are not evolving, you're stagnating. If you're stagnating, you're dying. So the reality is, listen, this too shall pass. That goes for everything. If you're crushing it, this too shall pass. If you're getting crushed, this too shall pass. Just remember that phrase because it's so true, and always be evolving.
Oof, valuable insight right there from someone who has experienced the ups, the downs, the plateaus, all of it, because you can see it all. Which is something that, again, I love so much. What do you see being the number one most important business growth strategy in the next 2 years?
Being consistent in a micro niche. So the combination of those two things. Just being consistent nowadays is not going to work. I was consistent with my daily podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire, for 5.5 years for 2,000 episodes. And now we're up to 2,200 episodes. That's consistency. That won. But now just consistency is not going to win. You have to pair consistency with a micro niche, with a special focus that you are dominating. Like if your podcast is just asking the same people the same questions, what's special about it? Nothing. But if your podcast is serving an incredible need, like how to fast, how do you properly fast? And of course, for people that might not know, fasting means not eating. That's just like an example of a random micro niche. Like you could become the expert in fasting right now. And again, there's a million other examples of that, similar things like that. That's where you're going to win, being consistent in a micro niche. So first, you have to identify your micro niche that you have some passion for, some obsession over, plus some value to give to the world, and then pair it with consistency and you'll win.
Be consistent in your own micro niche. That's JLD with some amazing insight. We'll be right back. I'm going to ask him some cool rapid fire questions. We are back with JLD, John Lee Dumas, who has been spitting fire in this short amount of time. And now we're going to go ahead and get to know him a little bit better. So John, I'm going to ask you just a few rapid fire questions, something that I really just like to get to know about our guests. So the first one is, what is one non-negotiable habit you implement every day?
My morning walk. Listen, you need to get outside and move. If you're in a place where you can't get outside because it's too cold, move. You're not planted there. Leave that cold, dark part of the world and move to a part of the world like Puerto Rico, where it's sunny and beautiful every single day. So non-negotiable, I get out, 3-mile walk. It allows me to just enjoy the fresh air, hear the birds singing, see the blue sky, get natural vitamin D, get my body moving, get a little sweat going, listen to my favorite podcast, get everything flowing. That is key, non-negotiable.
What is one book you wish everyone in the world would read?
The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Why? Because you need to realize nothing happens overnight. It is all a slight edge. You wake up every day and you get 1% better, and you can look at the end of the day backwards and say, okay, I did one thing today that's really going to move my business forward. Even though it's small, you're winning. Do it over time and you'll win at a big level.
On what do you like to spend your time and money outside of business?
Adventure. So every year we go on a 3-month trip. In those 3 months, we're still checked into the business. We're still checking emails and doing social media, an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening. But then we're out exploring different parts of the world, different cities. We're doing Fiji this year for 3 weeks. Then we're going to Latvia, then Poland, then France. We're doing adventures because to me, that's what I enjoy. We have one car. It's a Hyundai Santa Fe that Kate drives. I could have a fleet of Bentleys if I wanted to, but I don't because it's just not my thing. Like my thing is adventures and having fun.
Love it. What is the most insightful or actionable event you've ever been to?
Event would probably be Tropical Think Tank 2014. Chris Ducker threw this event. Myself, Pat Flynn, Amy Porterfield, Lewis Howes, we were all speakers there. It was a great event. It was small, intimate, at a beautiful resort, and it was a blast.
Amazing. John, thank you for sharing your valuable insights, offering some tactical advice to our listeners who are trying to bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to be on their journey to hitting 6 figures. Is there anything upcoming in your world that our listeners should know about?
Nothing really. I would just say visit eofire.com because we have a ton of free courses for you, the entrepreneur. Free courses on podcasting, on masterminds, on funnels, you name it, how to get your big idea. It's there. So that's a great place. And of course, I would love if you listen to my podcast, Entrepreneurs on Fire.
All of those resources will be in the show notes. They will also be on our website at lvrg.it. Just look up John Lee Dumas. He is the guy on fire, always providing valuable insight. John, thanks again so much for being here today.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Cheers.